Can you see? In X systems, these are some important miscellaneous problems, important problems here. On the smooth horizontal surface, of course, it was previously asked in advance. On the smooth horizontal surface, three blocks, identical blocks, each of mass m, are kept, which are A, B, C. Okay, B and C are A and B are joined by means of a light spring having spring constant K. Initially, the two blocks are kept at certain separation so that the spring is in its natural length. That means there is no extension or there is no compression. At the position, the two blocks are kept. Of course, these two are connected by the spring, so that the two blocks are kept at a separation so that it is in its natural length. That means no energy stored in the spring, no energies are there for the two blocks. Now, the block C is pushed with a velocity v, or it is given some impulse. It is given some impulse so that the block C move with velocity v towards B. Okay, then it makes elastic collision with B. As the two blocks are having same masses, whenever elastic collision takes place, just they exchanges their velocities. The velocity of this block transferred to this one, and the velocity of this block transferred to this one. Before collision, as the velocity of this block is zero, as it is rest, then it is transferred to C after collision. That's why velocity of C becomes zero after collision, and this velocity given to this one. So B starts motion with a velocity v. Okay, now after collision, the velocity of this block B is v, and it is zero. Okay, now this block starts motion with a velocity v. Okay, now whenever the maximum compression takes place, what is the asked? What is the kinetic energy of the system? They asked. Kinetic energy of the system when maximum compression takes place means, you see here, whenever the block B acquires the velocity v, with that velocity, whenever the block starts motion, then the spring starts compressing. When spring starts compressing, then compressive force is developed in the spring, and the compressive force is always acting towards the block. Extensive force is always acting away from the block. Okay, so as compressive force is developed, that pushes this block B in this direction, block A in this direction. Due to this compressive force on block B, it decelerates, so velocity decreases, and it accelerates, and the velocity of this block increases. So because of its deceleration, as the velocity decreases and here velocity increases, then at certain instant of time, both blocks acquire the same velocity. Both blocks acquire the same velocity. At that time, maximum compression takes place. So at the moment whenever the maximum compression takes place, the two blocks A and B travel with the same speed. The common speed is a v dash. Okay, therefore, on these two blocks you apply the conservation of linear momentum, because this is the spring force acts on the two blocks, the internal force. Internal force does not alter the total momentum of the system. That's why according to law of conservation of linear momentum, before starts compression, momentum of this block is mv. These are having no momentum. After maximum compression, as the two blocks travel with the common velocity, the two blocks can be treated as a single body of mass m plus m into common velocity v dash. So from that common velocity, we got v by 2. So whenever the maximum compression takes place, as the two blocks acquire the same common velocity v by 2, then what about the kinetic energy of the system of entire system? They asked. Whenever maximum compression takes place, then what is the kinetic energy of the entire system? They asked. And kinetic energy of the entire system means, as this block is at rest, it has no kinetic energy. Only these two blocks travel with common velocity at the moment when maximum compression takes place. That's why kinetic energy of the system is equal to only kinetic energy of these two blocks only. It has no kinetic energy. Okay, the kinetic energy of these two blocks means 2 into half m into common velocity of these two blocks, that is v by 2, v by 2 whole square. V dash square means v by 2 whole square. Okay. Of course, here 2 to cancel, m into v by 2 whole square, m is square by 4. It is the kinetic energy of the system of these three blocks whenever maximum compression takes place in the spring. The spring is having no kinetic energy. Spring is having only potential energy because mass of the spring is negligible now. So option A is not correct. B is correct. Next, what is the maximum compression in the spring? Maximum compression in the spring means we have to apply the total conservation of energy principle. Conservation of energy principle. At the instant whenever this block starts motion with a velocity v, okay, at that time the entire system is having kinetic energy only half m into v square. Okay, or at the instant whenever the block starts motion with a velocity v, then the entire system is having only kinetic energy half m v square. Okay, that is equal to whenever whenever the maximum compression takes place at the time, its velocity is 0. So kinetic energy is 0. These two blocks are having kinetic energy 1 by 4 mv square plus whenever maximum compression takes place in the spring, as maximum compression takes place, potential energy is stored. That potential energy stored in the spring is called half k into x maximum square. From this, when you simplify them, we got v into root m by 2k. That is the maximum compression of this spring. Okay, next here you see, as the velocity of center of mass, we can find the velocity of center of mass. No, we can find the velocity of center of mass here. Okay, now whenever this block starts motion with a velocity v, at the time the spring starts compression, so that velocity here decreases and velocity here increases. So velocity of center of mass remains constant. No? Velocity of center of mass means VCM is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2 by m1 plus m2. ఇది రెస్ట్ లో ఉంది. m1 v1 అంటే mv. Of course, this point is not asked, but it is important. VCM is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2 by m1 plus m2. That is the velocity of center of mass. m1 means m into v plus m2 v2 అంటే 0 by m1 plus m2 అంటే m plus m. That is equal to v by 2. అంటే velocity of center of mass constant లో అంటే the velocity of center of mass travel with constant velocity. Velocity of center of mass travel with constant velocity. These two blocks here, as the two blocks are having same masses, velocity of center of mass is exactly at the midpoint. Velocity of center of mass is center of mass is exactly at the midpoint for these two. Okay, and velocity of center of mass is this one. So about the center of mass, these two blocks oscillates like this. About the center of mass, these two blocks oscillates like this. This block also oscillates like this. About the center of mass, these two blocks execute oscillations, and at the same time, center of mass travel in forward direction with a velocity v by 2. With a velocity v by 2. Okay. Here, as long as the spring starts compression, spring force increases. No, when spring force increases, velocity here decreases, velocity here increases. Okay, that's why next one more problem is there. At that time, I will discuss. So in this case, the velocity of about the center of mass of the two blocks here, the two blocks execute oscillations like this. What is the time period? What is the time period of oscillating these two blocks? If they ask, time period t is equal to 2 pi into root of, as these two blocks are joined by means of a spring, then what is the formula to be used? When two blocks are joined together by means of a spring, when two blocks are joined by means of a spring, what is the time period of those two blocks? What is the time period of those two blocks? Tell me. What is the time period of those two blocks? What is the time period of those two blocks? Okay. Tell me. What is the time period of two blocks? Tell me. Anybody else? 2 pi root. Is it simply m by k? Is only one block is there? The two blocks. These two blocks are joined by means of a string, and the two blocks makes oscillations like this. What is the time period of each block? Okay, you are right. Root mr by k you have written. Okay, Harshateja, you are good. That is correct only, Harshateja. Varun, its formula is not correct, no? 2 pi root m by k. M by k is not correct. 2 pi into root mr by k. mr by k means reduced mass by k. Reduced mass that can also be represented as mu. So mu by k. Mu is equal to m1 m2 by m1 plus m2. m1 m2 by m1 plus m2 means this becomes m by 2. So time period of oscillating these two blocks t is equal to 2 pi into root of mu by k. Mu means reduced mass, that is equal to 2 pi into root of. Reduced mass means m1 into m2 by m1 plus m2. And m into m by m plus m. That means m by 2 you will get m by 2 by k. It is the time period of oscillating these two blocks. But at the same time, the center mass of these two blocks travel in forward direction, and two blocks oscillates about the central mass with the time period equal to this one. That is also very, very important concept. Okay. Next. Okay, next one. Problem number 12. Sorry, 11. Problem number 11. A load of mass m falls from a height of h on the pan attached to a spring of spring constant k and stays on it. Then, here actually I will draw the diagram here. There is one spring having spring constant capital K. It is having a light pan like this. It is having a light pan, so that when the spring is kept vertically, the mass of the spring is negligible. That's why there is no compression in the spring because of its weight. The pan attached is also having negligible mass. That's why due to pan also there is no compression in the spring. That means whenever the system is like this, there is no compression in the spring. At that time, the pan position of the pan is like this. Onto the pan from certain height, a block of mass m is from certain height. A block of mass m is released from a height h. From a height h, a block of mass m is released. Okay, then amplitude of vibration will be. Amplitude of vibration will be. You see, whenever the block is released from this place, the block reaches the pan and the pan and block together move downwards. The block when touches the pan, then the block sticks with the pan and both move together. So whenever the block is dropped from certain height h, whenever it sticks to it, suppose the block along with the pan displaced by a distance equal to say x, equal to x there. So this is the maximum compression of the spring. Maximum compression of the spring. So whenever the maximum compression takes place, according to law, as the pan comes to this position, pan comes to this position, and block comes to this position. So whenever the maximum compression takes place, at the time the position of the pan is this one, and spring is compressed by a length x. Now, as the pan comes to this position, it is the lowest position of the block. So that's why you take this as the reference line. So from the reference line, you apply the conservation of energy principle when the block is here and when block is here. So according to law of conservation of energy, total energy before compression, total energy ante total energy of the system ante whenever the block is at A, at the time the spring has no potential energy because the spring is not compressed. This pan is having negligible mass. That's why it has no potential energy. Spring has no potential energy. Only this block is having potential energy. That is equal to mg into, from the reference line, it is at height equal to h plus x, where x is the compression. That is equal to. Whenever the block comes to this position, so that the block comes to rest, at the time the compression of the spring is maximum. At the time, as the block is at rest and it is at the reference line only, it has no potential energy, no kinetic energy. But as the spring is compressed by a length x, then the spring is having potential energy that is equal to half k into x square. Therefore, mg into h plus x is equal to half k into x square. So from this, what about the x value? We have to write. From this, what about the x value? So from this, mg h plus mg x is equal to k by 2 into x square. K by 2 into x square. We have to write the roots of x. X k x square is equal to, you multiply with 2, then 2 mgh plus 2mgx. 2mg h plus 2mg into x. Okay, or x square minus 2mg x by k minus 2mg h by k, that is equal to 0. Now we are having quadratic equation x square minus something like that. Okay, then roots for this one, x is equal to minus b, minus of at the place of b minus 2mg by k is there, no? Because this is the amplitude of oscillation only. So x is equal to minus of minus 2mg by k. అంటే ఇక్కడ ఇనిషియల్ గా ఇది అన్స్ట్రక్చర్డ్ పొజిషన్ లో ఉన్నప్పుడు ఇక్కడ ఉంది బాడీ, అన్స్ట్రక్చర్డ్ పొజిషన్ లో ఉన్నప్పుడు స్ప్రింగ్ ఈ పొజిషన్ లో ఉంది. దీన్ని మనం రిలీజ్ చేసినప్పుడు ఈ స్ప్రింగ్ ఇక్కడ దాకా కంప్రెస్ అయింది కాబట్టి therefore it is the maximum compression, అంటే this is the amplitude. It is one, it execute oscillations like this. So minus 2mg by k ఇంకేం వస్తుంది, minus b plus or minus square root of b square. b square అంటే ఇక్కడ మైనస్ రాయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు కదా, 2mg by k whole square, b square minus 4ac. 4 into a means 1 into c means minus 2mg h by k whole by 2a. 2 into a means 1, a means 1. Okay, next. So this is equal to 2mg by k plus or minus square root of here 4mg m square g square by k square. So okay, here 2mg by k, here is there 2mg by k, here also there. You take 2mg by k whole square common, then you get 1 minus plus 1 plus 2mg by k. When you take common, 2mg square is taken common, then here you will get 4 into 4h by 2mg by k you will get. Okay, whole by 2, that is equal to 2mg by k plus or minus, you write 2mg square by k outside, then 2mg by k into root of 1 plus here 2 2s are, therefore 2kh by mg we can write now. So this is the compression in the spring. It is the compression in the spring. Now sorry, by 2 is there, no? By 2 means 2 can be cancelled. By 2 here also we can we can cancel. By 2 is there, 2 to cancel. So you cancel 2. So this is the maximum compression in the spring. Maximum compression in the spring. Maximum means we have to take positive sign only, no? The maximum compression we have to take positive sign only. Therefore, maximum compression x max is equal to mg by k plus mg by k into root of 1 plus 2kh by mg. This is equation 1. So whenever the block is dropped from a height h, then the maximum compression takes place in the spring is equal to this one. Okay, already whenever the block sticks to it, then the block execute oscillations about the point where the net force is 0, no? At what position net force is 0 we had first identified. ఎందుకంటే ఈక్విలిబ్రియం పొజిషన్ దగ్గర యాంప్లిట్యూడ్ అంటే మీన్ పొజిషన్ దగ్గర నుంచి మాక్సిమం డిస్ప్లేస్మెంట్ కదా, మీన్ పొజిషన్ అంటే ఈక్విలిబ్రియం పొజిషన్. At that place the net force is equal to 0. Okay, note down, note this one. This is the maximum compression of the spring, x max. Maximum compression of the spring is this one, x max. X max. Right, here all these are x max. Now we have to find the amplitude of oscillation. Here, whenever the block is just kept over the pan and it is slowly released, then at certain position here, net force acts on the block becomes net force acts on the body block becomes 0. That is the mean position or equilibrium position. Mean position. At mean position, net force becomes 0. At the time, what is the displacement of the block? What is the compression of the spring? You write that is equal to how much? So about this point, it makes oscillations up and down like this. About the mean position only, it makes oscillations. Now this becomes amplitude. This becomes amplitude. Amplitude of oscillation A. ఎందుకంటే amplitude find out చేసేటప్పుడు first we have to look at the maximum compression. Then what is the mean position? Mean position అంటే spring force is equal to weight of the block. అది find out చేయాలి. అప్పుడు from maximum compression when you subtract the equilibrium compression here, then you will get the amplitude of oscillation. Okay. Now first this one. I have noted this one. Shall I erase? Now I will erase this part. Actually, it is the extreme position. This position where the velocity of the block becomes 0, because whenever maximum compression takes place, it reaches the lower extreme position. That is the extreme position here. At extreme position, velocity is 0. It is the mean position. The distance between the mean position and the extreme position is the amplitude. No? That's why we had to find the equilibrium extension. The equilibrium compression here. It compresses out on that equilibrium compression. And the equilibrium position on what is the compression of the spring? That is x. So under equilibrium position, at equilibrium position or mean position of block, weight of the block mg must be equal to spring force acts on the block. Weight mg కిందకి పని చేస్తుంటే spring force opposite direction లో పని చేస్తుంది. Whenever the spring compresses by certain length, the spring force balances the weight. So that implies x is equal to mg by k. It is the equilibrium compression in the spring. Equilibrium compression in the spring. Equilibrium compression అంటే ఇది. Amplitude ఎంత? Therefore, amplitude of oscillation. Amplitude of oscillation means from the equilibrium position or from the mean position to what compression or extension takes place in the spring, that is the amplitude. From the equilibrium position, the maximum compression is equal to this only. So this is the amplitude. So amplitude of oscillation A is equal to, as it is the equilibrium position or mean position, about this mean position, it executes oscillations like this. Okay, that's why amplitude is equal to maximum compression of the spring minus the equilibrium compression x. X max means this one. So therefore, A is equal to this mg by k plus or minus, you can take plus or minus mg by k into root of 1 plus 2 kh by mg minus x means mg by k. Minus mg by k plus mg by k cancel. Minus mg by k plus mg by k cancel. Okay, then whenever these two are cancelled, then amplitude A is equal to this only, plus or minus mg by k into root of 1 plus 2 kh by mg. This is the amplitude of oscillation. Plus or minus ఎందుకు వచ్చిందంటే about the mean position in this direction and in this direction. In this direction, suppose if you take amplitude negative, in this direction you take positive. That's why between plus or minus A, it makes oscillations about the mean position. So this is the amplitude. Note down. Yeah, C is correct. C is correct. Only amplitude they asked. Okay, this is one of the important problems. Already 12th problem I said in the concepts only. Okay, 12th problem I said in the concepts only. Time period is 2 pi root m by 2k, I think we got. Okay, extensions in the springs are same అన్నాడు. మీకు ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ దట్ స్ప్రింగ్స్ ఆర్ సేమ్ అంటే బి అండ్ సి లో సేమ్ ఉంటుంది, కానీ ఏ డిఫరెంట్ గా ఉంటుంది కదా. బీసీ లో సేమే కానీ ఏ ఇస్ డిఫరెంట్, కాబట్టి బి అండ్ సి ఆర్ కరెక్ట్. Yeah, B is also correct. Energy all through the oscillation will be same. Yeah, B also correct. In 11th problem, multi-option question, B and C are correct. Because the total energy of the oscillating body does not change. According to conservation of energy principle obeyed now, that's why total energy remains constant. But while oscillating the block, the potential energy convert into kinetic energy convert into potential energy like that. So this block makes oscillations about the mean position up and down like this, with this amplitude. So in this way, you have to find the amplitude. Okay. Next, 12th problem already I said in the concept. 12th problem already I said in the concepts only. But here, extension A is different. Of course, time period means already I derived in the class. And the extensions A and E is different from B and C. Already BC లో extensions మనం తీసుకున్నాం. ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేస్తే మనకి డిఫరెంట్ గా వచ్చినాయి. ఓకే కాబట్టి BC లో సేమ్ ఉంటుంది, A లో డిఫరెంట్ గా ఉంటుంది. కాబట్టి కంపారిజన్ ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ ఇన్ A is different from B and C. BC లో రెండిట్లో BC రెండు కూడా సిమెట్రిక్ గా ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి extensions in the two strings B and C are same, but it is different from A. A లో ఉండే కంప్రెషన్ BC లో ఉండే ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ కి డిఫరెంట్ గా ఉంటాయి. Okay, that's why that option C is also correct. Next, 13th problem. Shall I erase this part? Shall I erase this one? Next problem you see. 13th problem. Thirteenth problem you see. You read the problem once. Next problem, 13th problem. Figure A shows a spring of force constant capital K fixed at one end and carrying a mass M. Okay, on the smooth horizontal surface, by means of a spring, one block is fixed here, having mass M, and it is pulled with a force capital F. Okay, spring constant K. It is the diagram A. Next, in diagram B, on the smooth horizontal surface, two identical blocks are taken like this and the same spring is used here. Both blocks are joined together. These two blocks are having same masses and spring constant K. This system is pulled towards left with a force capital F. Okay, now, okay. Figure B shows the same spring with both ends free. The spring is touched by a force F. Figure B shows the same spring with both ends free and a mass M is fixed at each free end. Each of the spring is touched by the same force. This spring is touched by the same force. This spring is also touched by the same force. The mass in case A, and the masses in case B are then released. And ఇక్కడ F force తో దీన్ని pull చేసి రిలీజ్ చేశారు. Okay, then the mass in case A and the masses in case B are then released. అంటే రెండింటిని స్టక్ చేసి రిలీజ్ చేశారు. రిలీజ్ చేసినప్పుడు what about we have to take one by one. While oscillating, the maximum extension of the spring is more in case A than in case B. Adi we have to first check. Maximum extension of the spring is more in case A than in case B. Okay. ఈ బ్లాక్ మీద హారిజాంటల్ డైరెక్షన్ లో ఈ బ్లాక్ మీద పనిచేసే ఫోర్స్ ఇదే కదా. దీనివల్ల ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ అవుతున్నప్పుడు స్ప్రింగ్ ఫోర్స్ ఇటువైపు ఉంటుంది కదా. కాబట్టి మాక్సిమం ఎంతవరకు డిస్ప్లేస్ అవుతుంది ఇది? మాక్సిమం ఎంతవరకు డిస్ప్లేస్ అవుతుంది ఇది? While oscillating, the maximum extension of the spring is more in case A than in case B అన్నాడు. Okay, while oscillating here, ఇది ఆసిలేషన్ చేసేప్పుడు స్ప్రింగ్ ఫోర్స్ ఇటువైపు ఉంటుంది, అప్లైడ్ ఫోర్స్ ఇటువైపు ఉంది. ఓకే, therefore స్ప్రింగ్ ఫోర్స్ Fs is equal to K అయింది అనుకోండి, అప్పుడు ఆ బాడీ ఈక్విలిబ్రియం లో ఉంటుంది కదా. ఈక్విలిబ్రియం లో నుంచి ఇటువైపుకి x, ఇటువైపుకి x. ఈక్విలిబ్రియం ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ ఎంత అయితే ఉందో మాక్సిమం అదే యాంప్లిట్యూడ్ తో ఆసిలేషన్ చేస్తూ ఉంటుంది. సో Fs is equal to Kx. Kx is equal to ఇది F కదా, F or x is equal to F by K. X is equal to F by K. అంటే the maximum extension in this spring is equal to F by K. But what is the maximum extension in this spring? Maximum extension in this spring is on this, here also on this spring same force acts. Here also on this spring same force acts. Whenever the max here, because of this applied force, whenever the block starts motion, this block also starts motion. But whenever these two blocks travel with common velocity, at that time maximum extension takes place. At that time, Kx is equal to applied force. So here also, of course, it is case 1, it is case 2. So x2 is equal to, it is also equal to F by K. That means both are having same extensions. Both are having same extensions while oscillating. So here, ఇక్కడ నెట్ ఫోర్స్ 0 కదండి, ఇది ఈక్విలిబ్రియం పొజిషన్. ఇది ఇక్కడ నుంచి బ్లాక్ ఎంతవరకు ఎక్స్టెండ్ అవుతుందంటే దీని మీద పనిచేసే ఫోర్స్ ఈ స్ప్రింగ్ ఫోర్స్ ని బ్యాలెన్స్ చేసేంత వరకు. అంటే స్ప్రింగ్ ఫోర్స్ ఇస్ ఈక్వల్ టు F కి ఈక్వల్ కావాలి, అప్పుడు నెట్ ఫోర్స్ 0 అవుతుంది. ఓకే, so in case of first block, extension is equal to F by K. In the second case also F by K only. But here in the first option, while oscillating, the maximum extension of the spring is more in case A than in case B given. But both are same, so that is not correct. Okay, so first option is not correct. So this A is not correct. Next B. The maximum extension of the spring is same in both the cases. Okay, but B is correct. B is correct. B is correct. Time period of oscillation is same in both the cases. Is it correct? Time period of oscillation is correct in both the cases. In first case, time period T is equal to, whenever it makes oscillations, then time period is equal to 2 pi into root of only block ఒకటే oscillation చేసేది M by K కదా. Just like loaded spring, if force apply చేసి రిలీజ్ చేసినప్పుడు it makes oscillations about the mean position. Whenever it oscillates about the mean position, And time period is equal to 2 pi into root of mass of the load suspended while oscillating by K. Okay, the first case lo. But second case lo, T2 is equal to 2 pi into root of this force is applied in this direction and it is released. Then these two blocks execute oscillations about the center of mass, about the center mass of the system. Mass is same కాబట్టి center mass exactly midpoint దగ్గర ఉంటుంది. About the center mass when it makes oscillations like this. Previously I said this one. About the center mass, it makes oscillations like this. Here also it makes oscillations like this. When it makes oscillations, time period 2 pi into root of, what about the formula? Yeah, here we have tried the reduced mass by spring constant K. That is equal to 2 pi into root of reduced mass mu is equal to m1 m2 by m1 plus m2. Okay, that's why m into m square by 2m means m by 2 by K. So this is the time period. So from this time period T2 is equal to 2 pi into root m by K. Instead of that, we can write T1. T1 by root 2 is there. That implies T1 is equal to root 2 times T2. Time period of the first load attached to the spring is root 2 times the time period of the second. So time period of oscillation case A, case A means first one, is root 2 times the time period in case B. So that is correct. So B and D are correct. B and D are correct. Okay. B and D are correct. Next. Next, 14th problem. Shall I erase this one? Shall I erase? Okay. Next, 14th problem. A simple pendulum consists of a bob of mass m and a light string of length as shown. A light string of length L as shown in the figure. Okay, here there is a simple pendulum suspended from the rigid support. Here the simple pendulum of length L and bob of mass m suspended from the rigid support here. Okay, now another identical ball. Here there is another identical ball of mass m moving with a velocity v0, makes collision with this and sticks to it. The sphere, another identical sphere having same mass moving with a velocity v0, makes collision with the bob of the pendulum and sticks to it. Then both together start motion in this direction. Okay, now for this new pendulum of mass 2m, mark the correct statements. Time period of the pendulum is, okay, whenever this sphere makes collision with this one and sticks to it. Now the system of mass becomes 2m. Then it moves with what velocity? So whenever collision takes place here, the collision obeys the law of conservation of linear momentum. No? So according to law of conservation of linear momentum, whenever this sphere makes collision with this one, initially before collision, it is having only the momentum mv0 plus this is having zero momentum. After collision, momentum of this body is 2m into v. Therefore, v is equal to v0 by 2. No, it is the velocity of the system of two spheres after collision as the sphere sticks to this one. So with this velocity starts motion in this direction. So about the point of suspension, as it is suspended from this point of suspension here, it runs like this. It makes oscillations like this. But at this position, the velocity is this one, which is maximum velocity of the simple pendulum at this point. Now, while oscillating, what is the mass of the pendulum? While oscillating, what is the mass of the bob? 2m is the mass of the bob. Now, whenever this sphere makes collision with this one sticks to it, then it starts oscillation. While it starts oscillation, the mass of this bob, mass of the bob in the pendulum is equal to 2m. When 2m mass execute oscillations, what is the time period? So here, first option, time period of the pendulum now. Time period is equal to, general formula for time period is 2 pi into root of L by Z only. Whenever this sphere sticks to it, is there any change in the length of the pendulum? Is there any change in the length of the pendulum? No, only mass changes. But the time period of the simple pendulum does not depend on the mass, no? Time period of the simple pendulum does not depend on the mass. That's why time period does not change, as length does not change. That's why this is correct. So time period of the system now 2 pi root L by Z, that is correct only. So option 1 is correct. The equation of motion for this pendulum is theta is equal to something. Okay. Equation of motion of the pendulum ante, whenever this combined mass starts motion with a velocity v, which is equal to v naught by 2, at that time, suppose it oscillates like this. What is the maximum displacement of the block from the vertical position? Maximum displacement of the combined mass from the vertical. That is a theta naught. That is the angular amplitude. Theta naught is the angular amplitude. మాక్సిమం ఇది v వెలాసిటీ వైపు మోషన్ స్టార్ట్ చేసినప్పుడు మాక్సిమం ఎంత యాంగిల్ డిస్ప్లేస్ అవుతుంది, దాన్ని మనం యాంగులర్ యాంప్లిట్యూడ్ అంటాం. వాట్ అబౌట్ ద యాంగులర్ యాంప్లిట్యూడ్? ఇక్కడ మనకి ఇచ్చిన ఆప్షన్స్ లో బి అండ్ సి రెండు సేమ్ టైపే కదా. సో బిసి ఈ రెండిట్లో ఏదో ఒకటి వస్తుంది మనకి. సో ఇక్కడ యాంగులర్ యాంప్లిట్యూడ్ వి హావ్ ఫైండ్ ఫస్ట్. యాంగులర్ యాంప్లిట్యూడ్, యాంగులర్ యాంప్లిట్యూడ్ ఇస్ ఏ థీటా నాట్, దట్ ఈస్ ఈక్వల్ టు క్వశ్చన్ మార్క్. అంటే మాక్సిమం ఎంత యాంగిల్ డిస్ప్లేస్ అవుతుంది, దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ యాంగులర్ amplitude. So in order to find the angular, suppose if theta naught is the angular amplitude, you see, whenever the combined mass reaches the position here, the velocity becomes here 0, no? Velocity becomes 0. Before the velocity becomes 0, what is the height reaches? H. Now you apply the conservation of energy principle after collision. After collision తర్వాత ఇంకా మళ్ళీ కొలిజన్ జరగదు కాబట్టి కంబైన్డ్ మాస్ ఇటువైపు ట్రావెల్ చేసినప్పుడు కన్జర్వేషన్ ఆఫ్ ఎనర్జీ ప్రిన్సిపల్ ఇస్ అప్లికబుల్ ఆఫ్టర్ కొలిజన్. బిఫోర్ కొలిజన్ కన్జర్వేషన్ ఆఫ్ ఎనర్జీ ఇస్ నాట్ అప్లికబుల్ because before collision inelastic before collision at the instant whenever the sphere makes collision here, inelastic collision takes place because after collision it sticks to it, no? In case of inelastic collision definitely energy is lost. That's why after collision only we can apply the law of conservation of energy principle, but before collision we should not apply. Okay, after collision kinetic energy of this body at the mean position, this is a position A, this is a position B, then total energy at A is equal to total energy at B. After collision the combined mass is having velocity V. That's why kinetic energy of the system is half into mass of the system 2m into common velocity square V square. Okay, this is the total kinetic energy, total energy of the system at the instant whenever combined mass starts motion. When it reaches the extreme position, at that time kinetic energy is 0 and potential energy of combined mass is 2m into g into height h. So here this 2 and this 2 cancel, m into v square means v naught by 2 whole square. So v naught by 2 whole square you write, that is equal to here 2m into z into what about h? You see, this is L. Then this component is equal to L cos theta naught. This is L. L minus L cos theta naught is equal to H. That's why L minus L cos theta naught. That means you take L common, 1 minus cos theta naught. Here mm cancel. Then V naught square by 4 into 2, 8 G into L is equal to 1 minus cos theta naught. 1 minus cos theta naught. Okay, here of course from this we can have the angular amplitude. From this we can have angular amplitude theta naught. Okay, so this implies 1 here V naught square by 8ZL is equal to, answer is given in sine function. That's why 1 minus cos theta naught can be written as 2 sine square theta naught by 2, no? 1 minus cos theta is equal to 2 sine square theta by 2. So 1 minus cos theta naught is equal to 2 sine square theta naught by 2. So from this sine square theta naught by 2, sine square theta naught by 2 is equal to V naught square by 16 GL we can write. V naught square by 16 GL we can write. Okay. That implies, as in case of simple harmonic motion, when theta naught is small, when theta naught is small, sin theta naught by 2 can be written as theta naught by 2 only. Theta naught by 2. Square is there. That's why you write whole square is equal to V naught square by 16 ZL. Since sin theta naught is nearly equal to theta naught. Theta naught కనుక స్మాల్ అయితే బట్ యాంగులర్ యాంప్లిట్యూడ్ theta naught స్మాల్ ఇచ్చాడా లేదా? వాడే ఇవ్వలేదు, కానీ ఇక్కడ సైన్లలో మనకి V naught పై సైన్ ఇన్వర్స్ ఆఫ్ అట్లా ఇవ్వలేదు, కాబట్టి కన్సిడరేషన్ తీసుకోండి. sin theta naught is nearly equal to theta naught. కాబట్టి sin theta naught by 2 can be written as theta naught by 2. Square ఉంది కాబట్టి square is equal to V naught square by something. So 2 here it is 4, no? It is 4. 4 4s are. So from that theta naught by 2 is equal to square root of V naught square by 16 Z into L. Okay, this implies theta naught is equal to V naught square by, it is 4. 4 2 2s are, that means 2 into root ZL you will get. This is equation say 1. Now we have angular amplitude. Therefore here, whenever this bob of the pendulum starts motion from this point, after t seconds, suppose it reaches the somewhere here. After t seconds, it displaces to an angle theta and comes to this position. This displacement is say x. Then we can write from the mean position after t seconds when the displacement is considered. When displacement x is equal to, we can write a sin omega t, no? A sin omega t. A sin omega t means it is theta. So a sin theta we can write. A sin theta. A sin omega t. Okay. Here, what about x value? From this diagram, you see, theta is equal to, we can write x by length of the pendulum, we can write, no? Because this is the length of the arc. Theta is equal to arc by radius. Radius means length of the pendulum. Similarly, so you see here, x can be written as L theta, no? X can be written as L theta, which is equal to, how we can write amplitude? Here, whenever the angular displacement is theta naught, the displacement of the bob is maximum, no? That is equal to amplitude only. This distance is equal to amplitude A, or amplitude is A. Therefore, theta naught is equal to arc by radius. That means amplitude by radius means again L. So A can be written as theta naught into L into sin omega t. LL cancel. So theta is equal to theta naught into sin omega t. We can write, no? Theta is equal to theta naught into sin omega t. We can write. What is the angular velocity of the bob of the pendulum? Angular velocity. Time period already we know. Time period t is equal to 2 pi into root of L by 0. That is equal to 2 pi by omega. Then omega is equal to root G by L, no? You substitute here. Therefore, theta is equal to theta naught into sin. Omega means root G by L into t. This is equation 2. Now we substitute theta value and theta naught value in this equation. You will get answer. Shall I erase this part? 3 lines, just 2 3 lines. Shall I erase these 3 lines? Shall I erase this one? Okay. Now, from this formula, theta is equal to theta naught into sin root G by L into t. So in terms of theta only given. So theta is equal to theta naught into sine root of g by L into t. Okay, this is equal to theta is equal to what about theta naught? Already we got theta naught is equal to this one. So V naught by 2 root ZL into sine of root Z by L into t. I think this is the answer. Theta is equal to something. Theta is equal to V naught by 2 root ZL sine root Z by L into. It is root is only for root G by L only, not for t. In the options for t also root is given that root is only for G by L, not for t. So this is the answer. This is the answer. So it is the equation of motion of this body. Of course, we can write equation of motion of the body in terms of this one or in terms of angular displacement theta also. Of course, if x is known, then x is equal to theta into L. In terms of theta, I have written that's all. Okay, therefore this is also answer. Here root is only for G by L, not for t also. But in the options, root is given for t also. That is not correct. You change them. Okay. Next problem number 15. That is also important one. Shall I erase now? Shall I erase this one? Okay. Next, 13th problem. That is also important one. Sorry, 15th problem. That is also important one. 15. A simple pendulum with length capital and mass small m of a bob is vibrating with amplitude A. Then the maximum tension in the spring is. The simple pendulum vibrates. Simple pendulum of length L and mass m of the bob is vibrating with amplitude A. So while it is making oscillations, the amplitude is given as small a. At that time, it has angular amplitude, say theta naught. Angular amplitude is theta naught. Then what is the formula for maximum tension? Whenever the bob is released from this position, before it reaches the lowest point, it acquires the maximum velocity. When it acquires the maximum velocity, then tension the string is maximum when the bob of the pendulum is at the lowest point, which is equal to mv square by r. R means L plus weight mg. Because when it travels like this, the radius of circular path of this one is equal to length of the pendulum only. Okay, this is the maximum tension. So maximum tension is equal to mv square by L plus mg. It is general formula we know. What about the velocity of the body? What about the velocity of the body? Initially, whenever the body is at A, velocity is 0. Whenever the body reaches the point say B, velocity say V. Then these are it is the lowest position. You take this as the reference line. So when according to conservation of energy, law of conservation of energy principle, total energy at A is equal to total energy at B. Total energy at A means as the velocity is 0, kinetic energy is 0, potential energy mg into. This reference line గా తీసుకున్నాం కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఇంత హైట్ లో ఉన్నట్టుగా బాడీ దిస్ ఇస్ ద హైట్ కాబట్టి mg into h that is equal to whenever the bob of the pendulum reaches the point here, it is having only kinetic energy half mv square, potential energy is 0. Now cancel. So v is equal to root 2z into h. So v is equal to root of 2z into what about h value? ఇది కావాలి. మీకు ఇది L అయినప్పుడు this is equal to L cos theta naught no? L cos theta naught. ఇదేమో L. L minus L cos theta naught is equal to h. That's why h can be written as L minus L cos theta naught. That means L of 1 minus cos theta naught. Okay, since h is equal to L minus L cos theta naught. Okay, this is the velocity. Therefore, Tmax is equal to m by L into v square. V square means root will be cancelled. 2zL of 1 minus cos theta naught plus mg. So LL cancel. So this is equal to 2mg minus 2mg cos theta naught plus mg. So here it becomes mg minus 2mg cos theta naught. It is the maximum tension. But answer is not given. The amplitude is given. Amplitude A is given. Theta naught is not given. So we have to change them into. We have to change them. Okay. Here you take mg common. Here only you write. You see, at this place only. 1 minus cos theta naught can be written as 2 sin theta naught by 2. No? Here in this case, 2mg into 1 minus cos theta naught can be written as 2 sin square theta naught by 2. We can write plus m into c. We can write. Okay, whenever theta naught is very small, in case of simple harmonic oscillations, the 2 2s are 4. 4mg into, as the sin theta naught is very small, sin theta naught by 2 can be written as theta naught by 2 only, but square is there. That's why you write square plus mg. Here, as square is there, it becomes 4. This 4 and this 4 cancel. So mg theta naught square plus mg. Tmax is equal to. Okay, but it is a equation 1. But theta naught is equal to, as the maximum amplitude is given, theta naught is equal to amplitude A. Or maximum length of the arc A by radius. Arc by radius. That means A by L. Because whenever theta naught is very small, it is almost all a straight line. This length is equal to almost all A. That's why theta naught is equal to arc by radius. That means A by L. A by L. Now we substitute this value here. Therefore, from 1, maximum tension A max is equal to mg, you take common, 1 plus theta naught square. That is equal to mg of 1 plus theta naught square means A square by L square. I think this may be the answer. See? Yeah, mg of 1 plus A by L whole square. Yes, that is the answer. A by L whole square means option B is correct, no? Option B is correct. It is the maximum tension in the spring. Option B is correct. Good. Next, 16th problem. All these problems are important only. Okay, completed. Next. Okay, next you see as is 16th problem. In the arrangement given below, both the springs are in their natural lengths. The coefficient of friction between M2 and M1 is mu. There is no friction between M1 and surface. If the blocks are displaced slightly, they together perform simple harmonic motion. Okay, here you see two blocks are kept one over the other like this, having masses M1 and M2. Here there is a coefficient of friction between these two. That means friction is there, but here there is no friction, so mu is 0. This lower block is connected to a spring constant K1, and the other end is connected to a rigid support like this, having spring constant K1. This is connected to another spring constant K2 and fixed to another rigid wall, having spring constant K2. It is connected like this. Okay, now whenever the blocks are slightly displaced, when the system is slightly displaced like this, and when you release them, it sustains oscillations together. That is given in the problem only. So whenever the system is pulled like this, then the spring is compressed. Here you observe carefully. Whenever the system is displaced towards right to a distance say x, okay, then as the spring is compressed, spring force acts on this block in this direction, Fs1 or F1. Spring force acts on the block in this direction. Whenever spring force acts on this block in this direction, at that time, this block tries to slip over the surface of this one. Okay, that's why this lower block exerts the opposing force on this block in this direction. That's why on this block friction acts in this direction. Next, for the lower block, you will see for the upper block of mass M2, the spring force acts on the, of course, this is the K2, no? You write this is F2. Spring force F2. So F2 acts on the upper block in this direction and friction acts in opposite direction. Next, for the block of mass M1, you see, whenever the system is displaced towards right, then the spring is extended. That's why spring force acts on the block in this direction, F1. As this block applies the friction on this upper block in this direction, the same friction acts on the lower block in this direction. Okay, that's why on this block, the spring force F1 and the friction force F both lies in this direction. These are the forces what Muhammad Asif, what is your doubt? Muhammad Asif, what is your doubt? Okay, so here these are the forces acts on the block. Whenever the blocks are at extreme position, then they have maximum acceleration. No? When the blocks are displaced through certain distance x, and when you release them, then this becomes extreme position. At extreme position, acceleration is maximum. Or if it is not extreme position, suppose it is somewhere here, then maximum acceleration. Suppose it is not the amplitude. It is not the amplitude. Suppose amplitude is up to this. Suppose it's the middle place, middle position. Whenever it is having a displacement x, then what is the acceleration formula? Acceleration of each block. Acceleration of this block means here as these blocks move in this direction, F2 minus F is the net force acts on this block by mass of that block M2. Mass of the block M2. Okay, so that is the acceleration of the upper block. That is the acceleration of the upper block. The first one they ask for frequency of oscillation. Sorry, frequency of oscillation they ask first. Okay, I will write first frequency of oscillation. 16th problem they ask for the frequency of oscillation. Frequency of oscillation. Frequency of oscillation. In order to find the frequency of oscillation, first we have to find time period, because frequency is equal to reciprocal of time period. No? That is called question mark. What is the time period here? You tell me. Time period is equal to 2 pi into root of. In the problem, it is given that the two blocks together oscillates. Two blocks కలిసి oscillate అవుతున్నాయి అన్నాడు. Total mass oscillates is m1 plus m2. What is the spring constant? Actual formula is P is equal to 2 pi into, in case of load attached to the spring, the formula for time period is 2 pi into root of m by k. But here two blocks are there. That's why effective mass by effective spring constant we have to write. Okay, therefore T is equal to 2 pi into root of m. What is the effective mass? M1 plus m2. What is the effective time period? Sorry, effective spring constant. Tell me, what is the effective spring constant? What is the effective spring constant? You tell me. Are they in series or in parallel? Are they in series or parallel? You tell me. Very good. ఎందుకంటే whenever the system is displaced, very good, Varun. Whenever the system is displaced towards right, then whatever the compression in the spring, the same amount of extension takes place in this spring. That's why whenever the extensions of the two springs are same, compressions of the two springs are same, or extension in one spring and compression in the other spring are same, then they are said to be connected in parallel. That's why whenever these two are parallel, effective spring constant is equal to K1 plus K2 only, no? This is the time period. Therefore, frequency is equal to reciprocal of time period. That is equal to 1 by 2 pi into root of K1 plus K2 by M1 plus M2. This is the frequency of oscillation of the two blocks. So option D is correct. Option D is correct. Okay, next 17th problem. If the frictional force on M2 is acting in the same direction of its displacement from mean position, then okay, here you see whenever it is displaced like this, the frictional force acts on block M2 is in the same direction of displacement. The displacement ఇటువైపు ఉంది, friction కూడా అటువైపుకే ఉంది కదా. కాబట్టి so in this case now if you consider the mass M2, the frictional force in this direction, spring force F2 in this direction. When you consider the mass M1, sorry, frictional force and both are in the same direction, F1, both are in the same direction. Okay, already I shown here, explain also. Okay, now here they asked the relation between M1 and M2. They asked the relation between M1 and M2. Here, as the two blocks move together, acceleration of the two blocks A is equal to, at any instant, as the two blocks move together, acceleration is same. Suppose at certain instant, whenever the system is displaced to a distance x, then the net force acts on this block is equal to F2 minus F by mass M2. In case of second block also, in case of first block also, acceleration is same. That's why in case of first block, acceleration is total net force acts on this block is F1 plus small f by mass M1. Okay, so acceleration of the two blocks, as the two blocks move together without slipping, acceleration of the two blocks remains same. The acceleration of the two blocks is equal to, so this is the formula. Now we simplify them. K2 means spring force developed in this spring, that is equal to, as it is displaced to a distance x, compression the spring is x, then spring force developed is equal to K2 into x, no? K2x minus frictional force mu into normal reaction. Of course, later we substitute the value. First you write F only. Later we can substitute that value. First you write as F only by M2 is equal to, here F1 means K1 into x. Because whenever it is displaced to a distance x, the spring also extended by the same length x. Plus friction force F by mass M1. Do cross multiplication. Because here they asked the relation between masses, no? They asked the relation between masses. M1, M2, K1, K2. Okay. You write M1 by M2 is equal to, M1 by M2 is equal to K1x plus F by K2x minus F. K2x minus F. Okay. So from this, what is the relation? Definitely, ఇక్కడ ప్లస్ ఉంది కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ x ఇక్కడ x సేమే కదా, ఇక్కడ ప్లస్ ఉంది కాబట్టి డెఫినెట్లీ M1 by M2 గ్రేటర్ దాన్ K1 by K2, రైట్ సార్? ఒకవేళ ఫ్రిక్షన్ లేదనుకోండి అప్పుడు K1 by K2 అని రాస్తాం. ఫ్రిక్షన్ కూడా ఉందనుకోండి, this term becomes greater than this term. కాబట్టి M1 by M2 definitely greater than K1 by K2 కదా. M1 by M2 greater than K1 by K2. లేదా ఇంకో టైప్ లో రాయాలంటే జస్ట్ యూ డు క్రాస్ మల్టిప్లికేషన్. M1 into K2x minus F is equal to M2 into K1x plus F. Okay. Now you see m1 k2x, m2 k1x. What is the relation between them from that equation? ఈ ఈక్వేషన్ నుంచి రెండింటి మధ్య రిలేషన్ ఎట్లా రాయొచ్చు? m1 k2x లో నుంచి f సబ్ట్రాక్ట్ చేస్తే అప్పుడు m2 ఆఫ్ k1x ప్లస్ f కి ఈక్వల్ అయింది. అంటే డెఫినెట్లీ అంటే ఇక్కడ m2 k1x ప్లస్ m2f అంటే m2 k1x కి f యాడ్ చేస్తే దీనికి ఈక్వల్ అవుతుంది m1 k2x మైనస్ f కి. అంటే m1 k2x ఇస్ గ్రేటర్ దెన్ m2 k1x నో. ఫర్ m2 ఈ బ్లాక్ ని ఇటువైపు డిస్ప్లే చేసినప్పుడు కంప్రెస్ అవుతుంది కాబట్టి కంప్రెసివ్ ఫోర్స్ దీని మీద ఇటువైపు ఉంటుంది. ఇటువైపు ఉన్నప్పుడు ఈ బ్లాక్ ని ఇటువైపు పుష్ చేస్తుంది కాబట్టి దిస్ బ్లాక్ ట్రై టు మూవ్ ఇన్ దిస్ డైరెక్షన్. అప్పుడు ఫ్రిక్షన్ ఈ రెండు మధ్య ఫ్రిక్షన్ దానికి ఆపోజిట్ డైరెక్షన్ ఉంటుందిగా. ఓకే, నౌ ఈస్ ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ ఈక్వేషన్ ఈస్ m1 k2x is greater than this one or this is greater than this one from this relation you tell me. దీంట్లో నుంచి ఇది సబ్ట్రాక్ట్ చేస్తే దీనికి ఈక్వల్ అవుతుంది. అంటే డెఫినెట్లీ దిస్ ఇస్ గ్రేటర్ దాన్ దిస్ వన్. ఓకే, సో గ్రేటర్ దాన్ m1 k2x గ్రేటర్ దాన్ m2 k1x. m2 k1x కి m2f యాడ్ చేస్తే దీంట్లో సబ్ట్రాక్ట్ చేసిన వాల్యూకి ఈక్వల్ అవుతుంది కాబట్టి డెఫినెట్లీ m1 k2x గ్రేటర్ దాన్ m2 k1x. సో ఇక్కడ xx క్యాన్సిల్. therefore m1 by m2 greater than k1 by k2. that is the relation between m1 m2 k1 k2. m1 by m2 greater than k1 by k2. okay, that is over. Next is 18th problem. The same 18th problem. In the same 18th problem, most important, if friction on m2 acts in the direction of displacement, same. If the friction on m2 acts in the direction of displacement only, at the time, the maximum possible amplitude of simple harmonic motion, maximum possible amplitude అంటే ఈ x ఏ amplitude అనుకుంటే, ఆ x నే మన amplitude అనుకుంటే, if అంటే maximum distance display చేసిన ఇటువైపుకి, if x is equal to capital A, then maximum acceleration A max is equal to from this formula f2 minus small f by m2. f2 minus small f, capital F2 minus small f by m2. That is also equal to, మరి దీని యాక్సిలరేషన్ కూడా మాక్సిమం ఉంటుంది కదా ఆ టైంలో, రెండు కలిసి ఉంటున్నాయి కాబట్టి the maximum acceleration of this and this both are same. In case of first black, f1 plus small f by m1. You can write like this now. What is f2? f2 means k2 into x. X means here a, because they asked the amplitude, minus friction force by m2 is equal to f1 means k1 into a plus f by m1. Do cross multiplication because we had to find a value, capital A value. Therefore, you do cross multiplication. m1 k2a minus m1 into f is equal to m2 into k1 into a plus m2 into small f. Okay, you bring a terms aside and f terms aside. You bring a terms aside and f terms aside. Okay. Okay, here okay, f means u2 mg. Okay, shall I erase this one? This one. Okay, here we see, we will do by this method. Here you bring a terms aside. Okay, m1 k2a minus m2 k1a is equal to m2f plus m1 into f. Okay, so from this you take a common, a of m1 k2 minus m2 k1 is equal to m1 plus m2 into f. We can write this. Okay, our amplitude a is equal to m1 plus m2 into what about f here? Tell me. Coefficient of friction is mu. What is f? How we can write f? How we can write f? Friction force is what in terms of mass? Mu is given. What is the friction force? Come on, you respond immediately. Mu mg means, mu mg means, is it mu m1g or m2g? You tell me that one. Of course, you know mu mg, but I am asking, is it m2g or m1g? M2. Very good. Because here normal reaction we have to write mu into normal reaction m2g. Very good. Mu into normal reaction m2g. Okay, this is f by this one m1 k2 minus m2 k1. So therefore, amplitude of oscillation A is equal to mu m2z into m1 plus m2 by m1 k2 minus m2 k1. Yeah, this is the answer. This is amplitude. This is the amplitude. Okay, this is the 18th problem. Yes. So 18th problem, option A is correct. In this way, you have to do. So 19th problem also, previously I explained that one. So you see the 19th problem also. That is also important one. 19th problem. 1920, these two are important. 1920, these two are important. Okay. Shall I explain 1920? Because 19 is already, you know, previously I explained. 19, only 20 we have to discuss. Shall I explain 1920? In this exercise only 1920, these are last problems. If any 2-3 problems are there, I will keep the solutions in the group. Okay. Right. 19th problem. Last 2 problems, in which 19th problem already I explained in previous problem only. Excellent problem, important for advance. 19th problem. Two identical blocks A and B. Here, on the smooth horizontal surface, 3 blocks having same masses are kept. Already explained. These blocks are A and B, and it is C. All are having same masses, and these 2 blocks A and B are joined together by means of a light spring having spring constant K. The K value is given. K is equal to 2000 Newton per meter. That is given. Okay, now mass of each block M is equal to 3K is given. Now this block is projected with a velocity V0 is equal to 0.6 meter per second. V0 is equal to 0.6 meter per second. Now, okay, whenever this block is projected with a velocity 0.6 meter per second and collides with A, sticks to it. ఇది దీంతో కలిసిన తర్వాత స్టిక్ అయింది అన్నాడు. Sticks to it. As a result, the motion of the system takes place in some way. So here, before collision is this one. Before collision. Okay. Then after collision, the 2 blocks becomes single block. A and C becomes single block having mass M plus M. And this block is B of mass M, spring constant K. So immediately after collision, at the moment whenever it makes collision and sticks to it, the type of collision takes place is the inelastic. Okay, immediately after collision, okay, the velocity of this block, velocity of this A and C, velocity of A and C together is according to law of conservation of linear momentum. Because any type of collision obeys law of conservation of linear momentum. Before collision, the momentum is m into v naught. After collision, as the two blocks stick together, 2m into common velocity of AC. AC together is a VAC. This is the common velocity. So VAC is equal to v naught by 2. This is equation 1. So now this block starts with motion with common velocity. So now, whenever this block starts motion with common velocity, there is a velocity of central mass. These two blocks, central mass lies somewhere here. Central mass, because here mass is more, here mass is less. That's why central mass is nearer to more mass. That means central mass lies, of course, here. Central mass lies here. So about the central mass, these two blocks execute simple harmonic oscillations like this. And at the same time, the central mass traveling forward direction. What is the velocity of central mass? Velocity of central mass is equal to mass of the two blocks together, MAC into velocity of the two blocks VAC plus mass of the block B into velocity of block B by MAC plus MB. Mass of the two blocks means 2m into velocity of the two blocks together is V0 by 2 plus at the instant whenever this combined mass starts motion with this velocity, at that time it has no velocity, so 0. mb into 0, that means m into 0 by total mass 3m. So that is equal to the 2 cancel mv0 plus 0 by 3m, that means v0 by 3. It is the velocity of center of mass. Velocity of center of mass of the system. So velocity of center of mass of system is this one, but v0 is given as 0.6 by 3, that is equal to 0.2 meter per second. So the velocity of center of mass travel in this direction with a velocity 0.2 meter per second. But about the center of mass, these two blocks makes oscillations. What is the reason? Whenever this block starts motion in this direction, as the spring starts compression, then spring force developed in the spring pushes the block in opposite direction, and the same spring pushes the block in forward direction. That's why the velocity of this block increases and the velocity of this block decreases, and after some time, the velocity of this block becomes 0, and the velocity of this block in this direction gradually increases. Okay, whenever the velocity of this block in this direction becomes 0, again it starts moving back. In this way, it makes oscillations, and this also makes oscillations about the center of mass with the velocity of center of mass 0.2 meter per second in forward direction. So here, what about the time period of oscillation? As now it becomes the reduced mass system now, so we can find the time period. So here they asked 18th one, 19th one. After collision of C and A, the combined body and block B would oscillate about the center of mass of the system, and the center of mass is at rest. But after collision, center of mass move with a velocity 0.2 meter per second, and they oscillates about center of mass. Center of mass moving with velocity this one and oscillates about center of mass. But center of mass is at rest given in the first option. So first option is not correct. In the second option, oscillates about the center of mass of the system, and the center of mass is moving with this velocity. So option B is correct now. Option 3, oscillates but about different locations other than the center of mass. Oscillates about different locations anta. Ante center of mass kaakunda about any point oscillation chestundanta. It oscillates about the center of mass only. Okay, that's why that option B is correct now. In 19th option B is correct. Next, 20th. Oscillation energy of the system, that is part of energy which is oscillating between potential energy and kinetic energy. So here, first of all, we have to find what is the translational kinetic energy of the system. And whenever the two blocks travel in forward direction, what is the translational kinetic energy? Translational kinetic energy of system. Kinetic energy of the system, and the spring has no kinetic energy. Only the two blocks together having translational kinetic energy. So such translational kinetic energy of the system means, okay, so whenever the center central mass velocity is considered here, then total energy of the system, total energy of the system due to translated motion is equal to half into total mass of the system, 2m plus m into velocity of center of mass square. It is the total energy of total translational kinetic energy of the system. Total translational kinetic energy of the system. Okay. అంటే ఇక్కడ ఈ సిస్టమ్ మొత్తం కూడా ట్రాన్స్లేషన్ మోషన్ లో ఉన్నప్పుడు సెంట్రల్ మాస్ యొక్క వెలాసిటీ వచ్చింది కదా, సెంట్రల్ మాస్ వెలాసిటీ వచ్చింది కాబట్టి therefore total energy of the total translational kinetic energy of the system is equal to half into total mass into velocity of center of mass. This is equal to, so that is equal to the kT అనుకోండి, ట్రాన్స్లేషనల్ కైనెటిక్ ఎనర్జీ కదా kT. kT is equal to 3m/2 into VCM square into 0.2 whole square. That is equal to, when you simplify that, you will get total translation kinetic energy 0.18. 0.18 joule you will get after simplification. It is the translation kinetic energy of the system. Okay, next, what is the total energy of the system? Total energy, ఎందుకంటే while it is traveling in this direction, here these two are having kinetic energy, that is the translation kinetic energy. At the same time, the spring will be compressed or extended. That means some potential energy is stored in the spring. What is that potential energy stored in the spring? In order to find them, you have to find the total energy of the system. Total energy of the system, not kinetic energy only. Total energy of the system means whenever the spring starts compression, it is having only the kinetic energy. That is the total energy of the system. At the time, there is no compression also. That's why total energy, comma, E is equal to half into mass of the two blocks together into common velocity square for this VAC square. That is equal to m into VAC square. VAC square is equal to V naught by 2 whole square. That is equal to m means 0.3 case into V naught by 2 means V naught is 0.6 now. 0.6 by 2 whole square. That is equal to, when you simplify them, I think ఎంత వస్తుందండి ఆన్సర్? After simplification, you will get total kinetic energy 0.27. You will get 0.27. I think you will get 0.27. You will get. Okay, is it correct or not? You tell me. 0.27. I think 0.27 joule you will get. Total energy in Tandi. దాంట్లో translational kinetic energy. అంటే because of motion of these blocks, translational kinetic energy is this one. What is the remaining energy? Remaining energy is the energy stored in the spring, and that energy stored in the spring varies between kinetic energy and potential energy. అంటే ఈ దీంట్లో స్టోర్ అయిన ఎనర్జీ వలన ఈ బ్లాక్స్ వెలాసిటీ గెయిన్ చేయడం, వెలాసిటీ లూజ్ అవడం జరుగుతూ ఉంటుంది. కాబట్టి potential energy is converted into kinetic energy is converted into potential energy. That is called oscillating energy. That's why, therefore, the remaining energy is what? Remaining energy. That remaining energy is the a part of energy which is oscillating between potential and kinetic energy. So remaining energy is equal to total energy minus translational kinetic energy. That is equal to 0.27 minus 0.18. That is equal to 0.09 joules. This is the energy with which it is oscillating between potential energy and kinetic energy. So therefore, with this energy, blocks oscillates between kinetic energy and potential energy. So with this part of this energy, it oscillates between potential and kinetic energy forms. అంటే ఈ ఎనర్జీ మాత్రమే పొటెన్షియల్ ఎనర్జీగా, కైనెటిక్ ఎనర్జీగా, పొటెన్షియల్ ఎనర్జీగా, కైనెటిక్ ఎనర్జీగా చేంజ్ అవుతూ ఉంటుంది. ఓకే, that's why 0.09 is the answer. So option B is correct. Option B is correct for this. Option B. Option B is correct. Okay. Okay, Nano, by all of you. Only 2-3 problems are there. For that, I keep the solutions in study hour. Okay, you go through them. Already you revised, again you revised today. తర్వాత 3-4 problems ఏమైనా ఉంటే ఆ problems solutions I will keep in the group. So you go through them, and if you are having doubts, you ask me in the study hour. Okay, Nana, have a nice day. Bye all of you. Have lunch and take rest. Bye bye. Bye.